Hey y'all, and welcome back to Leonard Creek Farm. Alright guys, today's video is about tattooing. We're going to discuss why we tattoo, what we use to tattoo, how we do it, and then I've got a few more tips and tips and tricks I'm going to add along the way. Ain't this just the cutest book? Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want to show you this, and I just think it's just the sweetest, most thoughtful gift. So my husband got me this Mini Rex rabbit breeding logbook. So I've got a video, and I'll try to link it here, about keeping records on the farm, and I'm a big stickler about keeping records in multiple different places, and just keeping records in general. And like I said, I'll link it here. But he got me this sweet little book that is for logging breeding. So before I go any farther, this is the author of the book. We want to give her credit where credit is due. This book is specifically for Mini Rexes. There might be some other breeds. I assume there's probably some other breeds. The beginning of the book shows who it belongs to, but let's get into what it actually shows. So information, it's got buck doe, date bred, I'm trying to read it backwards, litter, due date, let me see, litter size, and when the litter was born, and then it says baby bunnies, sex, colors, and so on and so forth. It's a cute little book. I'm going to link it. I'm going to show you again, and I'll try to link it in the description. I believe he got it off of Amazon, so look how cute this is. I love it. So let's get discussing the tattooing. First, I want to talk about why we do it. There's going to be different reasons from rabbitry to rabbitry, but starting off, in order to have rabbits in the show world, number one, they have to have a tattoo. That is for identification reasons when you go to different shows, so on and so forth. That way you can identify your rabbit. That's the basic baseline. The second reason why we do tattooing here at this farm is for the same reason, identification, but it starts when the baby rabbits are born. Our particular tattoo, it changes from farm to farm, and I will show you, I'll insert a clip here. It changes from farm to farm depending on, what they do. So our specific identification, our specific method of tattooing is so that I know mom, dad, month they were born, year they were born, and what number they are. So on a sheet of paper, I will have, for each rabbit, we name the rabbits that we keep on the farm. So rabbits that I keep back will have their name, what we call them. And the clip, I'll pop the clip up here again. This is Iris. And Iris has a specific identification and number to her name. So in a notebook, I will write Iris, and then I will write her tattoo. Same thing for no name. Those are two does that we've kept back that were born here on the farm. All of the rest of the rabbits were born elsewhere and purchased and brought to the farm, and their identification is their name or initials of their name. And I'll show you a couple clips here as well, describing that. Now, if you're going to tattoo for just identification reasons, or on your farm, you want to make sure that you're tattooing their name or their identification in their left ear. Do you see my dyslexic self doing the left? I have to hold up L. I'm dyslexic, but that's neither here nor there. L, you want to make sure that you're putting it in their left ear. You do not want to do it in the right ear, because that is for separate reasons that have to do with like a national or statewide system. I haven't really got into it, but that's a different type of identification. You want to make sure that you're putting, for your particular rabbitry, always in the left ear. Now, I said before, and I will link the video here, I explain exactly in that clip and video what we use in our identification, and you'll see in her ear, everything is LC. That stands for Lantern Creek. And then we don't have the F, but Lantern Creek Farm. So LC, and then whatever their identification number is. So Iris's is LCMMJ241. Her mom is May. Her dad is Manley. She was born in the month of June. And I think it's June. She was born either July or June. She was born in the month of June. The year she was born is 2024, and she is #1 because she's the first rabbit we kept back. And like I said, when I put that in the notebook, I write their ear tattoo and their name next to it. Now let's get into what we use for tattooing our rabbits. All right, guys, I'm going to link this particular tattoo gun in the description. This is purchased off of Amazon. I'm thinking they run about $50 or $60. Now, there's many options out there. There's tattoo guns that are for rabbits. I've seen people use permanent makeup pins. This particular tattoo pin or gun, whatever you want to call it, is for human use. But it can be used for rabbits, obviously. So there's multiple things that I don't necessarily want to discuss that's in this package. The main things that you want are ink. Now for our rabbits, we use black ink. There's different color inks in here. Obviously, we haven't used. I use the different colors for practicing if I want to practice something. But these pins are fairly easy to use. So let me show you what this pin is. Also in this package, your needles come in here as well. The needles, I think there's 20. It says 20 in here. And we use one. So if I have a day that I'm going to be tattooing, sorry for the stuttering, I will just use, one needle that day, for whoever I need to tattoo that day. So if it's 4 rabbits, we'll use it for all 4, so on and so forth. If it's just one, we'll just have to use it for one. Now here's the pen in itself. Now this one comes with a pretty pink one. And this particular one has no cord. Now it does come with the cord if you want to get a pedal, but I find that it's a lot easier to use one that doesn't, you're not dragging the cord around. So this particular one comes with a battery pack. I'm putting that on the right end. And it sits on top. And when you hit press, when you turn on here, can you hear it vibrating? And you have a needle in it, it runs. All right, guys, so I showed you our pin there, our tattoo pin or gun, whatever you want to call it. Now, like I said before, there's different varieties you can choose from. There's particular ones that are exactly for rabbits, there's just a big variety out there. You can check on Amazon. You can find some that's more budget friendly or in your price range. They go from, I've seen them from like $45, $50 all the way up to $100 and some dollars. So depending on what your budget is and what you're willing to spend. Now I want to talk about why I recommend doing the pins instead of the pinchers on the ears. There's a lot of reasons we went with the pin instead of the pinchers. When we had goats, the pinchers were something that was used. It's just hard on the animal. It's hard on their ear. Once you've heard one squeal or scream, it's kind of sad. So with the pin, they don't even feel it. It feels like a tickle in their ear. I don't use any kind of numbing spray or anything like that. And they do fine. Now, some rabbitries choose to use the numbing spray. And to each their own. I'm not saying you have to use it or don't use it. I've just found that it's not necessary. Now, once you get to the tip of the ear, it tends to tickle them more and they'll jerk their ear around. But I've not noticed them having any kind of pain or issue with it. Unlike the pinchers tend to, one, fade very quickly. You lose the color very quickly. They hurt the animal. And so it just was a no-brainer to use the pin. Now let's talk about fading real quick. As you can see, in the clip before this, I told you all that we use the black ink. I found that the black ink is going to last longer and show up longer. I noticed when in the goat world, a lot of times they'll use like that green color, and it just doesn't last very long. So I recommend using black ink. There's different varieties you can buy on Amazon. There's probably some that work better than that one. And so just whatever you can find, but definitely use the black ink. I'll show you a rabbit that's been done recently, and then I'll show you a rabbit that's had her tattoo for a while, for a couple years, and show you kind of the difference between how the black shows up. It still shows up very well. Now, if you want a video on exactly how we tattoo and how tattooing is done, I can do a video of that as well. So if you want that video, please leave a comment down below so I know that you're interested in it, and I'll show you exactly how we tattoo. Now, earlier in the beginning of the video, I showed you, or I talked a little bit about discussing how we write down the records, and I do recommend, along with all the things that I just listed, keeping some kind of record book of the tattoos that you wrote down. Now, we do not name any animals that do not stay on the farm, but that doesn't mean they don't get a tattoo or some kind of identification. Like I said, we do this so that we can tell who mom and dad is, month they were born, so on and so forth. So at weaning time, we always breed at least 2 rabbits together, and at weaning time, when we separate them from mama, that's when we will do the tattoos. We put the tattoos in their ear. That way, when I put all the groups together, usually wean about the same time. If I've got 2 different litters, I put them together. I'm going to be able to tell who mama is and whose mama is who, and be able to identify them when they're in a large group. But I definitely recommend getting some kind of notebook, some kind of record keeping of some sort, and making sure you put it not in one place but 2 places, having 2 different types of records or whatever have you in 2 different places. That way you are able to keep your record straight and have all of that information written down, however you want to say it. All right, guys, let's end this video on a cuter note than me. Look at this cutie pie. I hope that you found this video informational. I hope I hit all the questions that you had. If you have any questions, why are you running from me? If you have any questions, leave them down below. But I thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. And hopefully we can see you on the next one. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.